What would you say is something you can do now that you couldn't do before because you didn't believe you could?
This is gonna sound kind of sad, but make friendships and talk to people. I've always really struggled with socializing because of my environment that I had to grow up in.
How has training changed your ability to focus now?
It pretty helps my memorization really well. Having to memorize those new techniques, those new teachings from you really helps learning my lines, learning where the camera is.
What's the biggest way martial arts training has changed you? What would you say?
Oh my goodness.
Would that be?
It changed me tenfold. A lot of my determination and my self-discipline all came from you. That was the biggest ones that really stuck with me into my now early 20s was the self-discipline and the determination I definitely got from martial arts training 100%. And I'm tough and I'm not as afraid of going out in the Los Angeles streets. And if someone says something, I'd be like, you don't want to say that to me. Even though it's just one tiny girl against a bunch of Los Angeles people.
So you say the self-discipline and
Yes.
that determination. What would
Yes.
could you give me an example of something in the recent last few days or 7 days or something that you like?
So being an actress as well, you got a lot of deadlines, and I got a lot of deadlines I got to meet, and it's a lot to kind of get myself to film those, but it's okay, here's how you can film these. Here's what you can do right now. Here's what you can probably do later. Really helps an actress schedule. It really helps me stick in a rut. Also, as well, creative path, you can kind of get stuck, but that self-discipline always really helps me kind of find my way back into my passions.
That's great. That's awesome. So if somebody met the old you, right? What would they notice first?
My confidence shift. I had a huge confidence shift. I mean, going from an adolescent childhood of always kind of getting picked on to kind of now kind of away from all that, kind of figuring myself out as someone who's not stuck in a fishbowl for 4 years. And I've just really grown, and I'm not as scared of talking to people or speaking up for myself. I think, that's the biggest one I think people would notice. I'm not too scared anymore.
That's good. I think
Yeah.
I would say definitely jumping on the call with you now compared to the Ashleigh that I knew when you were I think you were right around 10 or 9, somewhere right around there when you started with me, to even then the Ashleigh that I knew when you were training with me as a teenager, to the Ashleigh that I'm talking to right now is way different. You were super confident. You know, you just, it seems like you're not afraid of yourself anymore. You're who you are. You love who you are.
It's awesome. It was a lot to find that, kind of go through that journey. But now I'm here and I'm loving it.
That's great to hear. What were you dealing with when you first started? Was it confidence, focus, leadership, or was it something else? What was it?
So actually, it was the Karate Kid. I watched the Karate Kid way too many times when I was at that age. And I kind of saw what that kind of helped with Daniel, because I was also I was in Daniel's spot. I was getting picked on. And even at 10, it was still kind of getting picked on, getting isolated at lunch. So I watched the Karate Kid and I was like, if that's what it's going to take to make me feel better, I'll do it. And I just thought it looked cool knowing how to fight. So I did it, and then I fell in love with it. It was amazing. I had I had I had my competition team. It was great. It was awesome. It was a big help in my development today.
So back then, that cost, what did it, what were you missing? Were you missing opportunities? Were you avoiding things? Were you getting in trouble, overthinking? Were you quitting early? What was it that it was creating maybe negatively in your life then?
A lot of overthinking, and also my environment. I don't know why. I was just really a lot different from the other kids, and they just didn't like that. So I guess also trying to figure out who I am so I can be more self-assured of who I was.
I think a lot of students who do get bullied, I think that's what ends up happening. They don't know where they fit in, then and they don't really understand, and then they and then they maybe look for something that will help them kind of break out of that, which I think is good that you did.
Yeah.
Was there a moment that made you think that you needed to change something? Take me back to that. Take me back to that moment when you're like, okay, I need to change. And then you watched Karate Kid. So what was that moment before you watched Karate Kid?
I was super young. It was I remember I was talking to my dad about how school's kinda, like, getting me down. I don't like going 'cause the kids are kind of mean, and I don't understand my schoolwork. And he's like, "I got a film for you." And I'm like, "Okay." And he put on The Karate Kid. And then I just watched The Karate Kid and then I was like, it just changed my life after seeing that. And so I fell in love with it. It was great.
What were you hoping that martial arts was gonna do for you then? What were you hoping that
Honestly,
was gonna I mean, you watched it.
did everything I was hoping it was gonna do. I had a lot of my athletic benefits in there. When I was angry, I kind of had a healthier way to take it out. It gave me the confidence and determination of like getting myself up every day. I'm gonna go to practice. I'm gonna stay extra practice because my parents are staying late. So it gave me everything I was looking for. It gave me friends, it gave me community, it gave my self-confidence and some place to be athletic and kind of get it out on the bag.
Were you even nervous about anything?
No, no, because I also had
Yeah.
Aiden. I had my brother, so I was like, "I'm good to go."
Yeah. Okay, so you had somebody there with you to kinda partner,
Mhm.
but if you were by yourself, if this would have been yourself there, all by yourself, because there was a time when then Aiden broke off and it was just you.
Yes.
Was there
Yes.
anything that you were nervous about? Was there anything that you were afraid of?
Not because he kinda broke off at that time where I started having friendships and stuff with the comp team that we
Mhm.
had, so then by the time he was gone, I kinda just had those people to fall back on, and then I got really closer because I didn't have Aiden at practice anymore to talk to. Aiden kinda helped me get my social skills ready, because I know if Aiden didn't go with me, I would have been a lot more shy. I had
Mhm.
my brother. Exactly.
What did you think training would be kinda, and then what was it actually like?
It's not as like it's like not as the technique is a lot more self par with your teaching. So kind of like he got like Daniel was learning this skill like through the chores, but I feel like like what was nice about just going straight up into it is like one the speed I got to like speed up, but like my technique was a lot like better and not just muscle memory. So it was a lot more technique I
Mhm.
liked learning than just the muscle memory I saw from the film. And also, there's a lot more styles you got to learn than just the film. So then when we kind of started learning how to use the, staffs and sometimes, like, just a lot of other fighting forms I got to learn about too.
Yeah.
Capoeira as well.
Yeah. I taught you guys quite a bit of stuff, so that
But
was
yeah,
fun.
it was fun kinda
What was the
getting to
hardest
mix all the styles. The
Yeah. So
hardest?
what was kind of the hardest thing in the beginning for you then?
I think kind of finding what skills worked in my favor better, and also kind of, like, thinking a lot quicker, especially because I loved throwing myself into the competition team, and I wanted to do that a lot, like, you've heard me always saying, "I wanna do competitions, I wanna do competitions." Because that's kind of what I was wanting to get into, to kinda see what my teachings
Mhm.
can do and how powerful are they, I guess.
Kinda give you an opportunity to test yourself in a way,
Yeah, 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 100%.
before something happens on in this well, for
Exactly,
you at the time,
exactly, yeah,
on
exactly,
the playground or something, and now
exactly.
maybe in the street, now you're like, "Hey, look, I know what to do."
Yes,
Right?
exactly. When the time comes, I know what
Good.
to use.
Yeah. So did you ever hit a moment where you wanted to quit? Like, I know that you guys moved, but did you ever hit a moment where you're like, "Look, I just wanna quit. I'm tired of it."
No, no, not necessarily. It was a bit difficult because I started getting into theater a lot more. So then my theater schedule was kind of getting into a martial arts schedule because I was going to continue martial arts once I moved to Phoenix. Also, in
Mhm.
Phoenix, the theater industry was a lot bigger the community theater industry was a lot bigger than in California. So then community theater kind of won over martial arts. But then, like, kind of when COVID happened and we got some online lessons with you, that was awesome because it was kind of like that transition period of, okay, I can do martial arts while doing theater at school
Mhm.
even though it was online. But
Yeah.
then once we went back in person, I was like, yeah, theaters and gonna kind of have to be my top priority right now. Even though I've always wanted to
Yeah.
go back to it, it's always been like my first love, I always say.
You're always welcome back to it. It'll
But
always
yeah,
come back to you, trust me.
I've
I
been thinking about
I've bounced around with it. Yeah.
I've been looking for places here actually. I'm like, I'm kind of I actually I've been studying under one of my friends. He was trained in one of the temples in China, like a monk temple, and I was like, wow. So he kind of has been showing me a lot more the older stuff, which has been fun.
Yeah, so kung fu, which is good. It's
Yes,
good.
yes, yes, yes,
It's good
yes.
to branch out,
And
try different
karate.
things, see what you love. Yeah, fantastic.
It was fun.
What would you say is something you could do now that you couldn't do before because you didn't believe you could?
This is gonna sound kind of sad, but make friendships and like talk to people. I've always really struggled with socializing because of like my environment that I had to grow up in. And now kind of like growing up, I'm kind of like finding this balance back. I'm like, I don't need to be afraid. Like I don't need to go back to where I was. Like you have those teachings, like the right teachings. Let's utilize those right teachings now that you're in this new part of your life. So I'm kind of going back to like, old ways as well as my new personality.
I think that's amazing that you feel confident enough now that you're like, look, I can go make friends anywhere. I mean, to overcome that fear, I
Yeah.
think is huge because I don't think there's a lot of people who actually can really say they've actually overcome that.
No, I've had some people at class who are older than me that kind of struggle with that. And I'm like, huh, maybe I'm in a better place.
You are. So how has training changed your ability to focus now?
Pretty helps my memorization really well. Kind of how having to memorize those new techniques, those new teachings from you really helps learning my lines, learning where the camera is, what movements do I need to be doing on the camera. It's awesome because it makes me a lot more conscious of the training I'm doing now. When that helps the training I'm receiving for like my acting stuff sink in a lot deeper than I feel like normally people would get.
Okay, so would you say you're more self-aware of your
Yes,
surroundings and
yes.
also what's kind of going on inside?
Yes, yes. I'm kind of like not like, "What's happening? What's happening?" I'm very much more centered and like I know like I can do this. Like I've done some pretty interesting fighting. I've done fighting. I can do this. I can do the scene. I can do the scene and I can be locked into the scene. If I can be locked into a fight, you can be locked into a scene.
Great analogy. So awesome. I love it. So what does leadership mean to you now compared to before you trained?
Oh my goodness. Love, like, kind of martial arts really helps me become more of a solo player. Well, like, I try my best to be a team player, but sometimes you need to be a solo player. And it really helped me kind of define what's a solo player and what's a team player and what energy it kind of asks me to do. And I kind of also tend more to the solo because I like being the leader. I like being the one that people can go to. It's nice. It's kind of fun knowing the answers and I like helping people. It's amazing. And if I can help,
That's great.
yeah.
So so you've learned when to kind of maybe just lead yourself and when
Mhm.
it's appropriate time to start leading others.
Yes. It kind of
Fantastic.
takes a minute. Yeah.
So is there any time like recent that you've discovered that like was there a time that like you just like look, I just went all in with me or you shifted and you went and you started helping or leading a team? Was there
Mhm.
any recent thing that you've done?
So I'm constantly working on a team, kind of being at acting school. And so it's kind of hard because, like, also I'm the only American at my school, so a lot of accents, and so I try my best to be there for my team because, like, I'm the American. I can help them lead, like, go to the right places. But sometimes, as much as I love my team, I have auditions that I and self-tapes I need to be doing outside of this team. So I've kind of gotten better communication to my team, like my school. I'm like, hey guys, I have some things that I need to do by myself for a minute. If you can wait for me just for like a day or two, I'll be back and I'll work 10 times harder with you guys. Because usually they go to me with accent help and it's awesome. I love being a coach. Love being a coach. It is so awesome seeing like helping someone who's so frustrated with something and then seeing them be a lot happier. And so I kind of been helping with the accents and they've oh my gosh, I've been seeing them improve and it makes my heart warm. I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually like improving their work. Like I'm being a leader and I'm helping them improve into like jobs in the US. So yeah, it's great.
That's good. Now you
Mhm.
understand why I love coaching so much. These are two specific tools or habits you got from training that you actually use outside of school. So these are I'm gonna give you one or two things. These are something you got from your training in the school. You pick one that you got. Okay.
Mhm.
Or if you're like, look, I got them both, then you
Mhm.
can say both. Okay. Reset breath or calm under pressure.
I'm under pressure.
Self-talk script, I can do hard things.
I can do hard things.
Drill work or sparring.
Sparring. I learn.
Are you a more morning training or evening training?
Evening training.
Okay. Hard coaching, love it or hate it but need it.
Love it.
You improve most by reps or pressure.
Pressure.
When stressed, push through or reset then go.
Both. But usually
Both?
take
Okay.
the pressure, yeah.
Your most quiet confidence or big energy confidence?
Quiet confidence, quiet.
You lead by example or encouragement?
Encouragement.
Best win, is it small daily progress or big milestone moment?
Big milestone moment.
What's one lesson from our character, confidence, or leadership program that you were doing, that stuck with you, and how do you use it today?
I think what really stuck with me is the safe space we had. And I kind of always look for that just because like we didn't if we failed, like that's awesome. We just know why we failed and how we can switch the failure. And kind of also how freely we could speak to each other about, hey, this is what you can improve, than just like tearing each other down. Because I feel like a lot don't have that.
So you say the school gave you that safe environment to kind of fail, but learn how to deal with
Yes,
failure.
yes,
And
yes,
it wasn't a room filled with criticism. It was a
yes,
room filled with like, hey, look, push you
yes,
up.
yes.
Could you give me a real situation where the old you would have reacted one way and the new you handled it differently?
My God. Yes, I've actually had so many experiences that I can think about. I guess one more recently is I've been dealing with a lot, like all of us, I don't know why, but all of a sudden I just had a lot of friendship breakups. Like I just had a lot of friends that me and them really had to we grew apart. It was those growing pains, and the old me would have definitely blew up and made a bigger deal about it and like really, really freak out. I'm like, why aren't they my friend? Why aren't they my friend? Why aren't they my friend? And like kind of question everything. But now I'm like, okay, I'm here, they're there. They have a lot more different priorities than I do. And they're clearly not worrying about me. Why should I worry about them? I'm here and I have other things to worry about.
So I don't know if you remember this, Ashleigh, but I asked you to write something for me.
Okay.
I can't remember when it
Okay.
was, and I think it was the book, either the book The Magic of Thinking Big, I had you read,
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
or it was Mindset. I can't remember which book I asked you to
Mindset.
do,
It
and
was
you did a
mindset.
report for me. Mindset. Okay. And I actually still have that report. I still have that report, but there was something in there. And then there was something that we talked about. And I had
Mhm.
explained to you that people are in your life for three reasons. They're either in there for a reason, they're
Mhm.
in there for a season, or they're in there for a lifetime. Right.
Mhm.
So you'll spend your lifetime with these people.
Mhm.
And I remember you either writing that or you telling me that. So it's great that you are saying this now again, like
Mhm.
you have really kind of adopted that to your, like, hey,
Oh,
look, I'm
yes.
okay if the season is done, the season's
Mhm.
over, and you're
Yeah.
moving on, and they're
Mhm.
moving on, and it's not bad for either one of you, right?
And I've had a lot of relationships recently, more in like my early 20s, giving me the reason. Well, all of a sudden, when you turn 20, a lot of people love to play in your face all of a sudden. And that's what's just been happening. I think it's just because of that, like adolescent to like, oh, you're actually an adult now. This generation has a very bigger power trip all of a sudden that I think I've seen in a lot of like other generations. It's interesting. It
Yeah.
is very interesting. I've been seeing a lot of reasons why people are in my life.
So who would you say noticed the change in you and yourself first? Would you say it was somebody else who's made a comment like, oh, you're so different? Or have you been the one who's noticed the most amount of change in you?
It wasn't me. It was the people around me. It wasn't necessarily my parents first, I would say. It was more of like my parents more recently have been saying it, but like when I moved here for the first time in April, I like posted a picture of me like doing something here, and all of a sudden my friends back in Savannah, because I was in Savannah for a year in college, were like, you look so much happier, you look so much healthier, like you look so much more improved. Something's shifted and it looks awesome on you. And I was like, what? I was so confused. And then I went to my parents because I'm like, have you guys noticed a change? And they're like, oh, most definitely. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it wasn't okay. Just not just me. No. Okay. Sick.
So I have a few closing things here. Just
Okay.
on this,
Awesome.
if you could go back to day one, what would you tell yourself?
Be ready. I know there's going to be a lot of hiccups. You just gotta keep going. Don't think, just keep going. Even though it's rough, just keep
That's
going.
great advice. So if we come back to 1 year, 2027, what would be What would make it a breakthrough year?
I got a lot of things lined up with some projects I'm doing right now. Some are being submitted to big festivals. That one of them is considered for the theatrical worldwide release. If any of those do good, I'm going to have 2027 be a year of celebration, especially because some of the stuff I have lined up are going to bigger festivals like Sundance, Cannes, the New York Film Festival, Toronto Film Festival. And then the worldwide theatrical release, if that does well, oh my gosh, I'm going to be like, that's going to help me go through a lot of doors now. So those big milestones, I'm really hoping I can celebrate in 2027.
Well, I want to thank you for doing this interview with me.
Yes,
It
thank
was
you for
really
having
awesome, so I really
me.
appreciate it.
Yes, I'm appreciative
Absolutely.
you asked me to be here.